All right, thanks for joining media. Our post-game press conference will start with John W. Davis of Winsider.
Hey, Coach Fisher, congrats on the win. Wanted to ask about 32 assists on 37 made baskets. What do you think that says about the way the team played today?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, they just deserve a lot of credit right now. I think, seeing Sydney go down, seeing, Brittany go down, and then TRP tonight, I feel like it almost made the team feel more connected with each other. Knowing that three of their sisters are not out there with them, and I thought Chelsea and Candace really set the standard for making plays, making their teammates better. And again, when your best players are leading by example in terms of making extra passes, making the right play, everybody else, follows suit. And of course, when you shoot the ball well, your assist number should be a little higher. And we shot it well, but I just think the mentality of wanting to share the ball that much, it was great to see from our ladies tonight.
Duke Ninu in LA Times.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned TRP. Just wanted to see if you have an update on how she's doing and, what not having her could mean for the team if you also are down Brittany and Sydney.
Yeah, no, we have been really fortunate, throughout this season to be really healthy. And, we shouldn't, I guess, be surprised that, things are starting to happen, during this season. Unfortunately, it's more acute traumatic situations where players are getting hit or things are happening. I think Dr. Courtney and Terrence and our staff have tried to do as great a job as possible in terms of the overuse injuries and the way we've set up our practices and everything. But, TRP, it was rough to see her, have to step off tonight. She really had found her rhythm and gotten herself going recently. So I'm not sure technically if they're going to say, what the shoulder injury was and from a medical standpoint. But, she's feeling okay. And I think it was dislocated. I'm not sure to what degree, what level, and how we're going to look going forward. I'm sure we'll be able to get an MRI or something maybe tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and just to confirm things. But just unfortunate timing. But every team has gone through it, and we got to stay tough and work our way through over these next couple of weeks until we can get some bodies back.
Oh, Vopal, ESPN.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering if I could ask too, first with Taya. I mean, I know you've addressed this before, but especially with the injuries, what a great pickup she's been for you guys and how quickly she's adjusted. And then I think this is Nneka's, like her top game point wise, almost since the start of the season. And you talked the other night about how she missed a few shots she'd normally make. It seems like tonight she was more back to normal Nneka.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll start with Nneka and then go back to Coop. Yeah, Nneka, you could just see she had a spring in her step. And, it takes a while. You don't play a game for a week and you haven't been able to practice and do things. Just a little bit of her timing and rhythm off a couple of nights ago, but she just does so many good things for us, in particular on the defensive end, that it's just great to have her out there. And then as her offensive timing comes back, she changes the game in major ways. And a lot of times for Nneka, because she thinks about everybody else so much, she's not as aggressive and assertive offensively as she could be. And I thought tonight she just thought less about trying to make sure everybody else was happy and took advantage of her opportunities when they were there. And it was great to see. We need it. And, it's something that we're going to have to rely on. You can't go 8 for 14 every night, but we need her to be aggressive that way every night. Back to Coop. We're very fortunate. Talked a little bit earlier about how we prioritized Kristen Tolliver in free agency, and we felt very fortunate for her to choose to come back to LA. And so when she opted out, and we respected her decision and still have her back all the way. We talk to Christy all the time, and she's with us 100%. Taya Cooper was the first guard on our minds internally that we felt like could provide a combination of ball handling. And she shot the three-point shot very well in college. We didn't know if it would completely transfer to this level, but as you saw tonight and in some other games, she's a capable shooter. You know, she doesn't always look for it, but I thought tonight Taya's a competitor, and some of the guards from New York are they're feisty and they're competitive people as well. And I thought that raised Coop's level a little higher than it had been recently. It brought the best out in her. She's not going to play this way every night, but she goes hard. And I think when we play against people that play that way, it brings the best out of her. And, you know, we're very fortunate to have her. She's been a great teammate. I think all of our players enjoy having her on this team, and it just says a lot about her and her character and who she is as a young woman. And you know, we're thankful for her to be on our side.
Adam Grossbart, LA Daily News.
Eric, you and Candace have talked a lot about wanting to see the team play a complete game, like a full 40-minute, concentrated effort. Was it good for the team to see this type of effort, just heading into the home stretch of the season?
Yeah, no, you're right, Adam. I think that tonight it was a step in the right direction of, I think seeing all of our players, regardless of who it was that touched the court, there was purpose. They were driven to succeed, and even you're going to have stretches during the course of 40 minutes where you're not playing as well, and sometimes the focus gets a little off and get distracted. But it was just good to see tonight. I think because we were sharing the basketball, it kept everybody together, and we had some unbelievable defensive possessions tonight, and obviously New York didn't play Zowie B, and that changes a little bit of what they can do offensively. But our players deserve a lot of credit for, I think, the defensive mindset that they took on tonight. Coach Patricia Trammell challenged them to see if they can hold the Liberty under 83, which is what they averaged on the season. And the players took it seriously and came out and gave a great defensive effort.
Last question for Coach Pavy, H&B Media.
Hey, Coach. Just how good was it to, especially with injuries piling up, you all have played a lot of closely contested games. How good was it to just get your starters some rest today?
Oh man, it was great. To start that fourth quarter, and even a little bit in the third, like it really wanted to end the third quarter the right way and start the fourth quarter the right way. Before taking a couple more of our starters out, Chelsea and Nneka, just to give ourselves a chance to have that kind of game, and talking to the coaches, and we just wanted to make sure that we had this game in a place where once we take Nneka and Chelsea out, they do not have to come back in. And if we had Brittany Sykes and Sydney and TRP, we may have been able to get them out sooner, but that would have been a little bit too much to put on some of our younger and developing players to play that whole fourth quarter. So it was great. Unfortunately, we've lost 3 players in the last 2 games. So definitely, as the game starts to wind down, you got to start thinking about getting some bodies out. And we were fortunate to have that kind of margin tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, questions for Taya Cooper. We'll start with Chris Camello.
Hey, Taya, fantastic performance today. With the injuries to Sydney and Brittany coming into the game and then losing TRP, did you kind of feel like, you know what, tonight I've got to be the one that steps up and is there for my team? Did you have that mindset?
No, as the season goes on, you always feel like when you get the opportunity, you got to knock the door down. But I was really concerned about my teammates, and they was talking to me the whole game. And, I checked on them, and they told me to go out there and play for them. So that's what I did.
Sabrina Merchant, SB Nation.
Taya, congrats on the win and your first career start. I'm curious, the WNBA playoff format is a little different than a lot of other leagues. What are your thoughts on it? Do you like the single elimination stuff in the first 2 rounds, or how do you feel about it?
I haven't thought about it actually. I was thinking about New York, and now we on Washington. I ain't even thought that far. I don't like to get ahead of myself, so I haven't even thought about that.
Adam Grossbard, LA Daily News.
Hey, Taya, like obviously, this isn't how you want to get your first WNBA start with a couple of teammates hurt, but was it exciting to see your name in the starting lineup and, for the first time and, then to turn it into, a career high point night?
Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I feel like once you start thinking about it, that's when you get in your head. And I kind of just treated it like practice. I practiced how I play. So once I got out there, it felt natural. My teammates was believing in me, and I was prepared for that moment. So, I mean, they made me feel good. And, yeah, I didn't really have too much thought about it.
David Yapkowitz, Next Hoop.
Hey, Taya. Aside from tonight, for the past couple games or so, you've been a key contributor in the rotation. How would you describe your own growth and your own development this season?
What was the last part?
This season.
So how would I describe what?
How would you describe your own growth and, your development this year from the beginning of the season to now? What are some of the things, that you picked up and, helped with your own development as a player?
I think the concepts on defense, so the placement of my feet and how it matters and the angles of the closeout and getting through screens. So knowing the coverages and knowing the slight details on setting the screen on offense and stuff like that, coming off and the timing and holding your player off. So stuff like that, I think I'm starting to pick up, and it's been beneficial. So I think that has a lot to do with my development.
Last question for Taya. We'll go to Michelle Vopel, ESPN.
Yeah, Taya, Derek mentioned this, and just from watching on TV, it seemed like they tried to get kind of physical with you, and that almost seemed to just help you. Like you seemed to react well to that. Did you sort of sense they were trying to do that, and it just sort of fired you up a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know what New York problem was. I started to think it was personal at some point, but no, I tried to not indulge in it and just keep playing. But yeah, I really did feel like they was coming for me. I don't know why, but I mean, it's out of my control. The ref was calling the foul, so I mean, the only thing that was good about it. Other than that, I don't know where that came from.
All right, thank you, Taya. Congrats.
Waiting on Gary Fisher one.
I'll let Kay know about that.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Adam Grossbard, LA Daily News.
Riquna, you talked, last time we talked to you, you talked about, some of the uncertainty you were feeling coming back from the injury, just in terms of your on-court movements, 20 points tonight. Where do you feel like you are in that kind of mental recovery process?
Just playing, honestly. Stop thinking so much. When I think too much, I take away what I could give to the Spartans. I make myself almost in like a box. So just don't think, just play.
Chris Camello.
Riquna, obviously you guys were down 2 players coming in. You lose out on TRP with a shoulder injury. How much burden did you put on yourself to kind of step up? Just you personally?
None. I know at any moment my number can be called. That's the point of me coming off the bench, being prepared for injury. Whatever happens, I'm always ready, no matter what.
John W. Davis, Winsider.
Hey, what's up, Riquna? To follow up a little bit on what Chris was talking about, can you go into a little bit more detail? Because the last couple games, you're talking about being ready coming off the bench, but I mean, it's been like a minute into the game or 35 seconds into the game. It hasn't been like the normal time where you get to sit there and kind of watch and see the flow. It's like you're almost started.
As soon as she started grabbing she went to holding her arm or her thumb. I started to get ready. I kind of like threw the hot pack down and got prepared mentally, like even in that quick moment. So I knew it was coming. He didn't even have to tell me. He just drew up a play, and I was ready.
David Yapkowitz, Next Hoops.
Hey, Riquna. Pretty much all season long, you've been part of that second unit there. Taya's been a part of that. Christine's been a part of that. The two of them have been starting recently with some of the injuries you've had. But just all season long, the energy that you've all brought into that game, just how important do you think that is, that you guys have had that consistency there? And now, with some of the injuries that are hitting, you're really starting to show that and show that depth there.
Honestly, we just try to focus on having fun, especially for that second unit. And Coop been great for us. We definitely enjoy it. We don't focus on too much of who's starting and who needs to do what. Like, I think everybody stay prepared and stay ready.
Chris, did you have one more?
No, I didn't. Thanks, Riquna. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Riquna.
All right, you guys have a great day.
All right, we'll get started with Nneka Ogwumike. We'll start with Adam Grossbard, LA Daily News.
Hey, Nneka. Derek and Candace have talked for the past week about wanting to see the team put together, a complete 40-minute effort, no let-ups, things like that. Was it good for the team to see this type of, put together this type of game with only 2 games left until the playoffs?
Yeah, certainly. Especially going into the postseason, I think it was important for us to be able to put together a win with 4 complete quarters. Especially on the defensive end, it felt really good on the defensive end today. I think that when we assert ourselves and we really hold ourselves accountable for each possession, attempting to get a stop, it just really flows into our offense and it allows us to really see things with a kind of a more broader perspective.
John W. Davis, Winsider.
And speaking of the offense, you had 32 assists on 37 made shots. You were able to get 5 of those. What were you seeing on the offense that was brought to you by the defense?
I think just moving the ball and moving our bodies today and really executing our plays. I think that was what was really effective. I think it was the first time this season that we had seen a zone of some kind. And so, that kind of got to us a little bit. We were able to regroup and figure out how we wanted to kind of attack more of the zone defense. But once we move the ball and move our bodies, it could be anybody's basket at that point, and that's kind of how we want to play.
Michelle Vopel, ESPN.
Yeah, Nneka, Derek was just talking about how aggressive you were tonight offensively, and he said sometimes you're almost too unselfish offensively. And I just wondered if you sort of had that in your mind a little bit to, not that we haven't seen you put together plenty of 20-point games before, but it was just it seemed like you were really comfortable offensively tonight. Was that the case?
Yeah, I felt comfortable out there. I think there was still a few times where I was a bit hesitant. I think I kind of find myself in between being aggressive, but then also ensuring that, the greater vision of our offense is achieved. And sometimes me being aggressive is where that fits in. And I think that our chemistry is really building as we kind of close out the regular season. And I want to keep doing my best to be as productive as I can, because that's something that I really kind of hang my hat on for my game. I love being efficient and productive and nowhere near a liability out there. And so if I can be aggressive and do that, then that's what I want to do.
Last question for the night, Chris Camello, Nightfall Media.
Hey, Nneka, fantastic performance. Derek talked about you having an extra spring in your step. Is it just one of those things with each game, the more reps you get, you're just feeling more comfortable, or were you out there kind of like, hey, I want to prove a point tonight to show that we're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with moving forward?
Yeah, I really take everything day by day here in the Wubble. And I obviously had rest/recovery with my back going out, and being able to kind of regroup and assess, how I can really bring my best on the court is kind of what I focused on in those days. And I really hope that after these next 2 games, we can look forward to some actual practice time, some real days off, and everybody can kind of get healthy and recovered and have that extra energy that we need going into the postseason.
Thank you, Nneka.
Thanks, Eli.